Hi. Recently I've been a part of an interesting conversation about sanctity, about what is sacred, and here are a few realizations that came from it. Or maybe the whole tapestry of meanings that are associated with the idea. Now, before I go into the matter, let's establish some ground rules or ground concepts that will take part in our play. First, imagine you're either preparing a dish or setting up an operating system on a computer. Doesn't matter, you're creating a task of great complexity. And sometimes you either add too much salt or mess up the drivers on your computer. It's too much to fix, and you choose to discard your work and start anew. Imagine you're moving into a house. Sometimes you can renovate, sometimes you can fix tiny things, but sometimes it's just so much fuss. It's easier to tear down the house and build it anew. And look at it as a cycle of creation and destruction. We're going with a sinusoid, so creation, destruction, creation, destruction, creation, and it's not that you need to destroy something willingly in order for it to be destroyed. The consumption of an operating system, just purely using it, is a cycle of destruction. Using the house, it will get used up quickly if you're actually utilizing its resources. And needless to say, by consuming a dish, it gets destroyed or converted into something brand new, if you like. So there's a cycle of creation, destruction, and it applies to everything. Now hold that thought, we'll use it in a moment. Now let's go to the concept of sacred. Sacred is unattainable for us. It's an ideal to aspire to. And it exists only in opposition to the profane. So we have the base carnal aspect of what we are. Let's call it earth. This is our flesh, this is how we exist in this space. We eat, we drink, we seek shelter, the base of Maslow's pyramid, right, basically. And if we think of sacred, we think of self-actualization, of highest, most sophisticated, most unique expression of our consciousness. Okay, not necessarily, but attempting to define sacred is already attempting to bring it into the world of profane, because language was created to describe those base premises of profane. The experience of sacred is unique and personal. Words were created by humans to share experiences. Therefore, something that is unique and personal, the more you climb up the Maslow's pyramid, for the lack of a better model, the more unique experience becomes. And when you reach the top, it is so uncommunicable that that using any sort of words will diminish it. Even trying to think about it in categories of words will diminish it. It's like trying to capture a dream. Whenever you start thinking which words to use to describe it to somebody, it becomes something completely different, and it does not resemble the original experience anymore, because there are no 6 10-dimensional words. We're slowly nearing our discussion about sacred, and it will be a very short discussion once the pieces are set on the board. So we have, look at it from the perspective of Taoism. The earth is the context for humans. Humans cannot exist without the earth supporting them. The sky, the heavens, are the context for the earth. They define its shape, its trajectory across the stars and all that. But heaven is also a metaphysical concept where sacred resides, or perhaps heaven. Tao is the context for heavens. Tao is the context for all. So when a student asks the master, what is greater than all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas? And he says, a cookie. Look at the word greater before you look at the word cookie. Word greater comes from the very bottom of this pyramid, where we choose hierarchies, when we align what is better for the flesh. Because as you climb that pyramid, you realize that there's no greater, there are just different experiences. You can stub your toe or you can plant a flower. It's just a different experience. But they are all equal. As you descend the pyramid, you see qualities of experiences that can be called with categories, with words, and can be placed in a hierarchy of what is better for you, what is worse for you, because you notice you are separate from everything. As you consider the world from a perspective of Buddha consciousness, there is no better. Another example, when a student approaches the master and says, what is Buddha? And he answers, dried shit on a stick. This is not only pointing towards the master perceiving his world, the master being acutely aware of here and now, because he's right now looking at the stick that he uses for cleaning the toilet, for maintaining the toilet. It also serves as a great device to bring the sacred towards the profane. And you will see Zen masters and Taoist masters very frequently bringing one to the other. When you look at the cycle of creation and destruction, the top is sacred, the base is profane. So the masters will be bringing these together by saying, the Buddha shit on the stick, Buddha 5 pounds of linen, cookie better than all the Buddhas. Because if you separate these two, heaven and earth, you will lose the game. The game is to have these both at once. It is not uncommon for humans to find these difficult. The cycles in their lives are usually taking a long time. They can remain in the profane for years and then in sacred for years. They go to monastery for a couple of years, then they open a brothel for a couple of years. Now watch what happens when you have those cycles like that on your timeline, and then you squeeze them and you're able to be Buddha, dried shit on a stick. You can squeeze them really tight in your life. You can have these experiences and compress the frequency of them and be able to work both layers at the same time. It's a bit of schizophrenia, it's a bit of doublethink if you like. But this is the goal of sacred, to become aware of itself in the context of profane. This is how you see Tao. Okay, this is it.